Good morning. I'm reading from the book of Nehemiah. I'm actually finishing it right now. And for those of you that aren't super familiar with Nehemiah, I love this book. Nehemiah, he becomes grieved in his heart because the walls of Jerusalem have fallen. The temple of God is in disarray. It's just in bad shape. And he knows this, and it's beginning to show in his countenance. And first off, can you relate? Is there something that you have a passion about? Something that is incredibly close to your heart, and maybe you can't be involved in it all the time, but you know that there is a need there, and it begins to grow, and you begin to talk to people about it, and it's dwelling within you, and it's just God is working on your heart and keeping your heart tender about it. I think that's probably where Nehemiah was. I don't know that he's talking to anybody. In fact, I don't think he is actually. But the king notices, because he's servant of the king. And so the king says, what's going on? I noticed that you're kind of down. And he tells them, how can I be happy when the walls of Jerusalem have fallen, when they're in disarray, when no one's taking care of it? And I know that. And it's important to me. And I'm here and nobody's doing anything about it. And the king allows him to go and rebuild the walls. And he goes through all sorts of persecution while building these walls. And you see in Nehemiah, you see the passion, the love for God and his commandments, the love for his ways, the desire he has to do what is right. You see the businessman as he organizes and puts things in place. You see the leadership as he puts men in place to protect what is being done, to protect the people while the walls are being built. You see how he assigns those that overlook and those that work, and then how they switch out. You see the care he has for the people as he makes sure that they have food and they are not being charged in an unorthodox way, in a way that's probably not the right word, in a way that is not right. I mean, that where the people of God are being taken advantage of, and you see him set that straight. You see him, the love he has for the people, that he makes sure that they have rest, and you see the love for God. Above all else, you see the love for God. You see his passion and his desire to do things the way they should be done. And so you see him reaching out and making sure that the word is being followed and the word is being shared, and that the priests are stepping into their place, their gifting, their calling, their where they've been called by God and placed by God. So I love this book. The very last scripture, you see him begin to think about the end of his life. And he says this in the very last scripture, the very last verse. Remember me, oh my God, for good. I wonder, we think about that as we get older. 62. And I do see that I am slowing down. And I see that I'm getting, believe it or not, if you don't know me well, a little bit short-tempered. And I have to check myself more. And I recognize that I need to pull back from some places, and I need to have more time of rest and more time with my God. And I'm looking at my life. I'm looking at what I'm doing for God. I'm looking at my passion, and I'm considering where and how I should use the gifts that God has given me, because I don't want them to sit dormant. I don't want to sit in a room all day long and do things that are not productive for the kingdom. But can I ask you today, maybe you're not my age. Maybe you're not in the generation that I am at. Maybe you're in your 20s and you're just starting life. Or maybe you're in your 30s and you've got young children and you're raising them. Maybe you're in your 40s and 50s and those kids are starting to move out and go to college and have kids of their own. And It doesn't really matter where you're at. Have you stopped? Have you thought? Remember me, God. My God. Remember me. Oh my God, remember me. Remember me for good. I work with the Buttons team, which is a group of youth that are called to ministry. And one of the first things we do when we have a brand new group come in and when it's their first year with us is we sit down and we say, write your epitaph. What do you want people to say about you when you are gone? It is a very hard thing, and the young people take it very seriously. It helps me as their mentor, as their leader, as their guide. It helps me to know where to pour into them. It helps me to identify their passion and them to identify their passion. And then periodically I'll ask them, has anything changed? Has your passion grown? Maybe they're raising money for missions and now they feel the call to be on the mission field. Has anything changed? And what have you done since last time? Since with the time that we wrote those, what have you done to fulfill them? Are you putting your time in the right place? So regardless of your age group, regardless of where you're at in life, what will God remember you for? It really doesn't matter what man remembers you for. What will God remember you for? Will it be for good? Will it be for the good of the kingdom? Love y'all.